Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My channel name is College Football Frenzy, and today I'm going to be breaking down the Texas Longhorns 2020 football schedule. The Longhorns went 8-5 last year, 7-5 during the regular season. It was kind of a disappointing season, but they ended it out pretty well with a big win over ranked Utah. This upcoming season, they'll be looking to do a little bit better. They have a great top 10 recruiting class coming in, and they have a lot of experienced talent like quarterback Sam Ehlinger coming back to the team. So the Longhorns definitely going to be looking to have a better season after a down year last year. One of the main parts why they had a down year was because of all the injuries they had. They got banged up early on in games against teams like Oklahoma State and LSU, and that hurt them, and it led to them being upset a couple times. This schedule, as you can see, there's some tough games already that they had to play last year as well, like LSU and Oklahoma. Those are rematches, and there are some easy games. So I'm going to get into it right away, start out with USF, and make my way down to 13, and then I'll give an overall record prediction at the end. Number 1, USF, that'll be an easy one. They're in a rebuild right now. I believe they just fired their former head coach. They're not doing very good right now. I think Texas will handle USF here easily. 2, at LSU. This is a tough one. Obviously, Texas lost to LSU at home last year. This is going to be at Death Valley in a night game. It's going to be very, very tough. And I'll admit that Texas definitely has improved overall roster-wise, and LSU's definitely taken a big step back. They're losing a lot of their production. Obviously, Joe Burrow, Grant Delpit, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, plenty more. Their coordinators, they're all gone. But I still feel like LSU has a lot of talent still left. Like Jamar Chase and Miles Brennan might be good. And on top of that, it's a home game for LSU, and I think Texas is going to struggle at Death Valley. So I have LSU winning this one. 3, UTEP. This is an easy game. Texas wins that. Tough place to have a bye week. Week 4, that's very early on. That's tough. At Kansas State, this says upset written all over, in my opinion. We saw Texas get upset a couple times last year. We saw Kansas State upset Oklahoma last year. It's an away game for Texas. I don't feel good for Texas on this one. I honestly think they're going to lose at Kansas State. First game of October. This just looks like it's going to be a very tough game. They might be, preparing for Oklahoma and overlook this one too. So I have Kansas State actually winning this one. Oklahoma. Last 2 times it's been very close. Texas won a couple years ago. They lost this past season. I think this upcoming season Texas is going to improve, and I think Oklahoma is going to be weaker. I mean, losing CeeDee Lamb, their best wide receiver, and losing Jalen Hurts is going to hurt. They have Spencer Rattler, but I don't know if he's as good as Hurts or Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield. So I think Oklahoma is going to be weaker. It's a neutral site game at the Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas. It could go either way, but I actually have Texas winning this one, a very close one, and they could very well meet up again in the Big 12 championship. 7, West Virginia. West Virginia has given Texas trouble the last 2 years when they've played each other. Obviously, West Virginia won the last time they went to Texas 2 years ago on a walk-off 2-point conversion, I think it was. And then West Virginia last year at home gave Texas some trouble. Texas ended up winning, but they gave Texas some trouble. This upcoming season, I don't think West Virginia is very talented. I have Texas winning this one at home. 8, at Texas Tech. Should be easy. Texas Tech is definitely on the decline. I'll take Texas here. Baylor, that'll be tough. Dave Aranda is now the head coach at Baylor. I think it's a step down, but still, I guess they have a decent defense, and they have Charlie Brewer still at quarterback, so they could be okay, but definitely probably going to be a little bit weaker Baylor. It's a home game for Texas. I'm sure they'll want revenge. I think Texas will get the job done here. At Kansas, we don't need to go over this one. We know who's winning that one. Although I will say, actually, 4 years ago, Texas lost to Kansas at Kansas. So nothing's a guarantee. Kansas will probably have like 1 or 2 wins at this point. But one would expect that Texas gets the job done at Kansas. TCU will be a tough game. I think TCU's been a bit on the decline in the last few years, but they're still overall a pretty good football program led by a pretty good head coach. They beat Texas last year. That was when TCU was at home. This time, Texas is going to be at home. I think TCU could put up a good fight, but I'm sure Texas will want revenge. I think they get it. I have Texas winning, but I definitely think it could be a close game. And I wouldn't be surprised if TCU upsets teams like Oklahoma next season. 12, Iowa State. All right, this one's interesting, I feel like, because Iowa State beat Texas last year. Iowa State, I think, is going to be a top 25 program this upcoming season. They nearly beat Oklahoma. They nearly beat Baylor. They really could have been in the Big 12 championship last year. So this one's interesting. I think it could be close. This, I honestly think this could be a spot Texas loses in. I think it really could. I just feel like they might be looking ahead to Oklahoma State because that's a tough game. I just feel like Iowa State's going to be pretty good next season, so I could definitely see Texas losing this game. 13, at Oklahoma State. Another toss-up game here. 50-50. Oklahoma State might be favored. This literally might be a game. I think it's on a Friday, the last week of the season. It probably will decide who goes to the Big 12 championship game to face Oklahoma. So this might be like a Big 12 semifinal kind of thing. So it's going to be a big game. Oklahoma State coming in this game, you look at their schedule, they should probably only have one loss to Oklahoma. They don't do very great against Oklahoma, so I don't think they'll win that game. But they should probably only have one loss coming in this game. If Texas wins, I think they would still go to the Big 12 championship. I have them winning, but the last time they went to Oklahoma State, they lost. So it's definitely not a guarantee. It's going to be tough. Oklahoma State played pretty well against Texas last season. Oklahoma State is a great run game with Chuba Hubbard and greatly coached with Mike Gundy. So this will be an interesting one. It could go either way. I just feel like Texas loses one out of these last two games against Iowa State or at Oklahoma State. I feel like one of these games are going to lose. So overall, I have them at a record of 9-3. I think they stumble early on against LSU. That's a no-brainer. I think they lose to Kansas State in an upset. And I think somewhere in that end stretch from like maybe Baylor to Oklahoma State, I think they can beat Baylor and Kansas. But maybe that last 3-game stretch, somewhere they stumble. Whether it's Iowa State or Oklahoma State or even TCU again. I think they stumble somewhere there and get a third loss. I just don't, it's Texas. They got great recruits and great talent, but I don't trust them coaching-wise, and I don't want to hype them up too much. Their schedule's not extremely tough for programs like Clemson or Ohio State. They would probably go undefeated with that schedule, but obviously this is Texas. Right now, they're on a lower tier than those top schools. So I don't have Texas going undefeated or going maybe like 11-1. I think the schedule's favorable, but I still think they're going to get upset a couple times. I think they can win some big games, but at the end of the day, I just, I expect them to trip up a couple times. But again, 9-3, that's nothing to be ashamed of. That will get them into the Big 12 championship game probably with only 2 Big 12 losses, and they would have a chance to compete in New Year's Six Bowl if they could beat Oklahoma again. So that's not terrible. It's a 2-win improvement from the last regular season, so overall it's pretty good. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for joining in. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and also check out all my other videos.